Hello, I'm Scott, the breathing guy. I train people how to breathe to amplify the core influence on their physical abilities. This video is balance exercise for aging. And this is a video about assessing what part of the body is weak and what exercise that will enhance you to have your balance. Now, this whole program is for aging yourself. So if you're 50, 60, 70, 80, your abilities right now at balance abilities will vary greatly as you get older. So taking the time when you're watching this program, assess what is your physical state to create balance. That's standing up straight, even balance, and not falling, not tilting to the side. What is the physical condition for you to be able to do that? That is the assessment. Now, how do you begin to assess what you are you weak in, or you have no strength in, or no range of motion? Remember, I say balance. You lose balance as your range of motion decreases and your spine shape changes. So let's assess it. Begin with the core. That's from the belly button down. That's the front here and glutes. Those are two areas. Can you move it? Can you mindfully inhale by pushing your belly button out and exhale, pulling the belly button in? Just a little bit, but range of motion is everything. When you push it out, can you squeeze the glutes? These two muscles right here, can you squeeze them? Just a little, doesn't have to be much. Exhale, release them and push down. If you can tighten a muscle group and release a muscle group, there's opportunity there. But if you can't make it work, those two critical points, you have to work on it. You have to find the exercises, the time, and the focus to work on that. That's key. The other thing you have to understand is what makes you weak is shoulders. If you're tight in the shoulders, no range of motion, you're always up like this, or you lift something, your shoulders come up, or you do anything, even getting out of the chair, you're lifting your shoulders, try to use it as the main force, that makes you weak. That will get your balance off real quick, because the core has to be an essential point, even getting up and down, movement. And the more you condition your mind, your body, and within the movement of using this area over this, you will be able to keep your balance longer in a dynamic way. So first thing assess is how weak are you here at the belly, below the belly button. Then after that, your glutes back here. Can you tighten? If this is weak down here, you have no physical strength. You're only going to use shoulders to try to move everything. And that will throw your balance off. That will not create balance. And having exercises that focuses on this area is the key part to recover if that is weak. It's not a matter of you can't do it. It's finding the techniques, the exercises that will bring about. And the number one rule when you're exercising, never engage the shoulders, only engage the core. This should be fluid, soft, for range of motion. If it's tight, you can't even, I'll give you an example. You can test this. This is physical. If you bring your hand up like this, and just have your shoulders a little soft and try to move your arm out, you can't. Now raise your shoulders up like this. Now try to move your arm out and see how you certain muscles tight, range of motion. Plus, anytime you raise it and get these tight, your whole body goes weak. You're weak. Bottom line, what do you want to strengthen is this area here, here, and your feet, hands, and head. And shaping the spine, the skeleton frame comes into play for balance, for walking, for whatever you do. So this first assessment of your physical condition is this area down here. What state is it in? Next assessment is feet. Feet and balance go together. And when you assess the feet is ankles, foot, and toes. What are your toes like? Can you engage the toes? Can you make your ankle move? Can you rotate your ankle? If you can't, you have to do exercises to bring that into focus here and there, and then strengthen. Range of motion and strength. Two separate things that you need to bring together to keep your balance, recover your balance, whatever. So the relationship between here and your feet come into play. And this is where breathing comes in. How you breathe, core breathe from down here, affects your shoulders and ball. When you're doing the exercise of the feet, you cannot tighten up here. This has to be fluid, soft, down, head position. The more you restructure your skeletal frame for balance, the better you will be knowing your balance. These are assessments involved. So the feet is key. Then the shape of your body itself, your spine up through here. Are you leaning forward like this, your head like this? Like this, your shoulders come up, now you're weak. And then finding the exercise to reshape your head so it's in line with your spine. How to tone muscles. Think of toning muscles. The definition of toning muscles is the ability of how firm you can make something and how soft you can make it and how fast can you do it. Between firm and soft is expression of force. Balance is you move a little, one set of muscles are firm, the other muscles are soft. That's the key. So you got either too tight, too soft, or just weak. Those are the three terms you got to work with to keep your balance, restore your balance, to improve your balance. And the biggest word I'm going to give you for understanding for balance and how you need to exercise to make your balance better, keep your balance, it's called myofascia. And it's spelled myofascial. And it is the packing material, they call it, or the connecting material through your whole body, and it's alive. It moves, it slides, and when it binds up into a group, it pulls your muscles. It's literally like these fibers, the whole length on every cell. So if fascia gets damaged or gets old and doesn't slide, doesn't move as much, or binds up, it pulls muscles, you got to pull here, it limits range of motion. It's the simplest way I look at it. Myo is muscle, fascia is the material that lets you move and connects the whole body as a whole. So fascia determines your range of motion, muscle determines your strength that you have within the range of motion. So really understanding myofascia and how do you exercise to affect that process, both range of motion, the fascia material that permits out, and strength together. Then you'll have the most effective exercise approach to keep your balance, to live healthier overall. But to just train for muscles itself without the fascia, you just get old. Your range of motion will decrease. You may be strong within the range, but your range of motion will decrease. You lift out like this and your shoulder will pop up, or you lift out, oh, I feel it back in my back. That's fascia. As a general word, 90% of the time be fascia. Why? Lifting your hand, your back aches? Why? Wait, there's no muscle connection between A to point B, but what it is the fascia makes the muscle connections work. Like I said, fascia determines range, muscle connection. So exercises, so assessing how strong. Now look at your feet. Do you have hammer toes? Can you press your toes in? Is your ankles turned in? My suggestion for balance is find orthotics, some place that makes great orthotics to make your feet you can point straight ahead, and the weight distribution, that's what an arch is. It makes your feet have the weight on the outside area around. It literally goes around. What is the function of an arch? Is to distribute your weight on the outside of the foot, and it goes from the heel all around to the ball. It's that little moon shape. It's like a little moon shape. That's good balance when you can do that. That's what orthotics helps you feet to do. Now, some people I've seen, the ankles are twisted in, so you got to get that worked out and be straight if you want balance, or you're just going to have issues. up in your back, the waist, even lifting arms, because of the fascia relationship between your feet and hands involved. So understanding that. The spine, look, the skeletal shape of your body is directly related to what pulls it. It doesn't have any inherent shape itself, but will be shaped by whatever pulls it that way. The skeletal frame is flexible, like the spine is flexible, and your limit range of motion. If you start getting the hunchback like this, what's causing it? If you think about it, if you try to bring back like this, what pulls? What's the tension point? Across your chest. Why is your chest collapsing like this? Because the fascia material is pulling, it's knotting up and pulling this way, pulling your head here from here. And how do you create core breathing? Core torso breathing. If you want to straighten your spine straighter, you have to breathe with your torso. The torso has to expand out and it has to contract. You do that, you keep the fascia toned, you keep your muscles toned. Plus, you'll, if you want to say prevent breath decreasing as you get older. I have a saying, aging. What is aging? As the breath declines in range of motion, that's the amount you can bring in, inhale, and exhale. How much can you exhale? Your endurance drops. As your endurance drops, your strength drops. So keeping the torso in its basic function is to create the most amount of breath, inhale, but the exhale. The hardest thing I'm going to tell you right now to do is exhale. Exhale is the release of energy. Exhale is the softness of the body. If you're tight, you can't exhale. If you're stiff, you're shooting your shoulders up like this, you can't move here. You can't even exhale. You can inhale, but you cannot really exhale. So core breathing is a key part, but assessing your lower body, so you got lower body, upper, and then hands. What's your hands range doing? Because that affects breathing. So exercising for a better spine shape incorporates feet, first the core, hips. Tip your hips slightly forward. You'll feel the strain in your walking or standing. And let it just soften yourself. Mind has to let your shoulders drop. How do you come soft? Always begin with the shoulders. And the breath is inhale. And let your shoulders just drop. You can see as I exhale. Thinking or have an emotional thought most of the time affects the shoulders in the sense of tightening up. If you get angry, emotional, the shoulders come, the chest involved get tighter. So really understanding emotions and fascia go together. Just flat out, I can back it up on that one. But understanding, having a neutral state, attitude, having an awareness attitude when you're exercising, walking, and focus on your balance is a beginning. A neutral attitude, there's no abstract thought, no emotional thought. You're aware of yourself, your physical being, and all the muscles being engaged, and how to shape, and you're reshaping. That's the whole idea of standing exercises in the beginning. We'll get into more movement and more toning, but you got to take care of the basic. Basic is the feet, the core area, and toning, and using it within the exercise and soft shoulders. If you lift your shoulder to pick yourself up, or you're cane your shoulder like that, you're not using the core. If you're not using the core, here's the rule. If you're not using the core, use your shoulders. Using the shoulders makes you weak. And all it's going to do is losing your balance exponentially faster, because then your whole body, your shape of your spine, because if the core is not engaged, the shoulders are. So look for the other videos. This is assessing how well your feet are, how well your core, and then the exercise that you have to focus on to recondition that area suitable to improve your balance. This is Scott, the breathing guy. This is balance exercise for aging. This is how to evaluate your physical state for all these exercises. in the beginning. So you can don't waste your time on trying to overdo something. You're focusing on what you need to do, then you can move on and build your blocks of exercise to keep your balance, keep your range of motion in. I don't care if you're 90 years old. I don't care if you're 100 years old. I know a guy that's actually 94 years old, and he moves, he drives. You wouldn't believe. I just marvel at what he can do physically, in a sense of just, he acts more like a 70-year-old. I know another 90-year-old he could outwork anybody around. He was absolutely pick up heavy weight, but his range of motion, his balance, he was very energetic. And that comes with breathing as well. Anyway, this is Scott. You have a good day, and look at the other videos and start practicing standing up straight as an exercise. 5 minutes, just 5 minutes of just, so you soften the shoulders and you feel this and you're moving here. And your feet are in position straight ahead. Number one rule when you're walking or standing, learn to point the toes straight ahead. You will have balance. If your feet are like this, you will have off balance, period. So that's why position of the feet is so important. And condition your muscles to be that way, being aware. That's the number one thing you can do. Point your toes straight ahead. It will enhance your balance ability.